What up? What's up? Dude, see, dude, what the fuck is going on, dude? Just when I was fucking playing music, I was like, getting into the mood, getting started to fucking stream. Internet was fine. Nothing, dude. The internet was like, hey, constant, right? Easy. Now that I fucking click the scenes, like I fucking changed the scenes, it just fucking went bonkers. Shit skyrocketed down. It went to fucking to oof. To oof. It went. Alright. Well, anyways. So we are back. Maybe you saw it in the title already, but today will be an FPS type of day because I just felt like it. Yesterday playing CS:GO was pretty fun. So I'll play a few CS:GO rounds, maybe, just maybe put in a Valorant round or something. Depends on the map we get. And no. But but it wouldn't be a cash stream without watching a fucking video first. So, and before that, I also want to say my fucking, can you see it? How am I supposed to show this? What the fuck am I supposed to do, man? Oh, anyways, my fucking skin is fucked. Do you see that? On the thumb as well. I mean, it's kind of healed, so you can't really see it. But it was like this, like, see, this white part, and the skin fucking fell off and was on here and here. So well, fucked, man. It is fucked. I don't know why it's happening, but something's gotta do something. And I also just fucking realized. Plug up the data. Don't worry. Nothing bad. It's just medicine for my hair. Yep. Well, anyways, yeah, you're right. Yesterday when I was offline, someone followed, as you asked, followed me 15 hours ago, and I ended the stream, I think, 19 hours ago. So 4 hours after I went offline, he followed, or she followed. Hey, I don't know if you're here or not, but thanks. Thank you. Thank you very much for following. It was a very pleasant surprise, actually. Right. Also, we hit the goal yesterday. We hit the follower goal. 20 followers. Bit by bit. We're making it bit by bit, man. It's fucking sick. Actually fucking appreciate it. Yeah, it's so fucking nice. So now we're on 21 followers. And the next goal is going to be 30 followers. I don't know yet. Maybe we'll do something at 30, maybe we don't. I want to do something at 50 though. 50 followers, that's when that's a big milestone, to be honest. 50 followers, so I will do something on the 50 followers. I don't know what yet, but we'll think about something, right? Got a little bit of time until we hit 50 followers, but yeah. So, oops. Also, I got the sick ass video recommended yesterday. Look at this. Wait.
CyberPunk.
Hostile architecture. And it said CyberPunk, so hey, that's sick. All right. So, we like to stall a little before we get into the game. So here's a little staller with this beautiful lady. I thought it was Anna Kana first on the thumbnail, but
Is dark. It's brutal.
all right.
CyberPunk is dark. It's brutal. Hopeless. but it's also a really cool way for us to think about what our future could look like.
Alita! I gotta hit you up, man. Alita? Battle Angel Alita was sick. It was amazing. I don't know if you guys watched the anime, read the manga, or watched the movie, right? I don't know. I don't care. Alita is just fucking full on peak perfection, performance. In the movie, Rosa Salazar, who was playing Alita, nailed it. Fucking sick, amazing, really good, really fucking good. What do you call that? Actress. So that's fucking amazing. I really picked a nice one. In the fucking manga, amazing. So it has like 2 books or something, right? Or like 2 stories. So first one is just normal Battle Angel Alita something. Second one is like Alita something, and the third one is the Mars Chronicles, right? Which is like when she was a kid or something. The kid one, well, I don't know. The first 2, definitely recommend. So if you want to pick it up, hey, go ahead, man.
And
really good.
You might think of it as just fiction, but in the last couple of years, you've seen just how fast things can change in ways that we would have never even been able to guess. Let's try to look at cyberpunk from an architecture and urban planning point of view to see, is it just fiction, or is there a real connection to our
You know, I wanted to be an architect
Are we already dreaming of electric sheep?
once upon a
A
time,
portion of this video is sponsored by NordVPN.
but I don't know.
Cyberpunk is a subgenre of science fiction, but it focuses on the darker side of technology, often in bleak, dystopian futures. You have a technologically advanced, yet declining society, where people constantly struggle to maintain a sense of self in the face of technology that's becoming so superior. It's
Ghost in the
typically
Shell,
set in
also
a
super
dark,
good. I think
urbanized,
Cyberpunk in
and
general is just fucking
globalized
sick.
world
This is
with
such a sick
gritty
concept.
underground
Very
subculture
cool.
with things like cyborgs, virtual reality,
that
AI, and cybernetic implants. Big corporations control everything, and technology is both a lifeline and a leash. It's what you need to survive, and yet it's
Actually, I think this is one of the fewer known, lesser known ones, or maybe because it's old or something, so it's probably not known now. But I think the first, oh, I mean, one of the first cyberpunk style movies that I watched was Dread. Dread, I think it's called. It's like RoboCop kinda, but I haven't watched RoboCop, so I couldn't tell you if it is like it. But Dread, Judge Dread, I think something. Sick, really cool. Ever since that movie, I think I just started to really fucking fall in love with the cyberpunk genre.
it's the tool that
There wasn't much of it,
Say something nice.
but if there was something, it was sick.
One of the key features of a cyberpunk city is the density and complexity. We have towering skyscrapers, usually overpopulated and polluted. We have labyrinthine streets and alleyways and a vast network of interconnected technologies. It's basically an
Mrs.
urban
Johansson.
where people are
Miss.
forced to navigate a complex and dangerous landscape to survive. But at the same time, cyberpunk cities can be places of
The game is just so
opportunity
good, man.
and
Cyberpunk game
possibility,
is just so good.
where the marginalized can carve out an
It didn't get much love because of the opening, because of how it entered the scene, right? It's just lots of bugs, everything. I played it on Stadia. Yes, you fucking know it, right? Stadia. On cloud gaming from Google that failed. Yikes. But I played on Stadia and I didn't have any problems with glitches or bugs or anything. I think maybe that was because it was the PlayStation version. So maybe the PlayStation version was fine, but the PC version just fucking sucked. But I loved the game. And I think it really was overhated at that time. That's all I'm saying. I mean, right now, I think lots of people, after the anime, I think lots of people pick the game up again, and it's way more stable and like way more enjoyable to play. But I think even at that time, it was very enjoyable. It was very nice. Sick concept, sick stories, sick gameplay. Everything was super cool. Overhated is all I'm gonna say.
niche for themselves. And so I don't think it's an accident that the most common recurring cities in Cyberpunk are set in cities like Tokyo, LA, Hong Kong, or London. North America, it's the place of hope, the American dream, but it's also an icon of capitalism. And Asia, super dense, technologically advanced cities, but there's a lot of uncertainty about the future. But there's another more obvious reason. Cyberpunk emerged in the 80s and 90s, where the US and Japan were at the forefront of technological innovation. We saw the rise of Silicon Valley, as well as the rise of Japan's tech industry. So these areas became associated with cutting-edge technological development, and so it served as a natural backdrop for these cyberpunk stories.
Was that Akira? Sick. Was that my buzzing? The fuck?
Okay, stop. In the original Ghost in the Shell, there's only one scene where you can obviously distinguish kids in the environment. Having children in cities is not just important for social stability, economic growth, cultural continuity, but also for urban planning. They bring life and energy to public spaces. They bring spontaneity and play and fun. And in fact, public spaces that are designed with kids at the forefront, it can actually lead to a more vibrant space for everyone. Just look at this project Superkim in Denmark by Bjarke Engel's architects. Instead of creating isolated playgrounds for kids.
Another story. Yes, relax, guys. If you want to fucking skip it. Yeah, go ahead. But another story. I went to Denmark last week. Or a week and a half, or like let's say 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks ago, I went to Denmark. I went to Copenhagen. And holy fuck, that city is built for cyclists, right? For fucking bicycle, like, users. That city has roads next to the street, next to the fucking car roads, right? It has like a little stripe for the bicycles, and you can reach anywhere. Literally, you can reach anywhere with the bicycle. And then next to it, next to the bicycle lane, is also another walking lane. So I think, which is cool. I mean, obviously, I think this might sound really obvious or something, but I think it's cool how they have 3 separate lanes, right? For cars, for their bicycles, or like e-scooters or e-bicycle or whatever the fuck, right? And then they have those pedestrians. And I think that's really cool, because I don't see that a lot in Germany. Germany doesn't really have that. They have like a street, and then they have bicycle with pedestrians. So there's like together, they're sharing together, right? And I think countries could really take something from Denmark and like Sweden and whatever the fucking countries up there, right? The Scandinavian countries. I think they really could, because it was also super clean. Everyone was super nice. Everyone spoke English as well. So you could like literally go to any place and just start speaking English, and they'll be like, pick it up instantly. They'll be like, yes, this, the blah blah blah, right? Keep on going. So I think that was pretty fucking sick. The cycle lane, that was freaking sick. It was super clean. It was very clean. Blah, I don't know. Yeah, that's about it.
Kids, they integrated the play
Strange language though.
within the larger
Funny language.
And by doing that, they made the
It's like they don't take a breath
area
in between the
more
words they're saying.
interactive, more inclusive, more
keep on saying
accessible, and more fun for everyone. The absence of children in Cyberpunk is very obvious in the design of these cities, and it just speaks to a society that's not only struggling with
Actually, they're right.
or cost of living, but also a society that has no hope and no vision for the future. And this isn't just fiction. Places like Japan and Korea, they're already experiencing a pretty scary birth decline. And you can actually see how that's already impacting the economy and the real estate market. The problem is obviously pretty complex, and there's a lot of factors that go into it, like the kind of social tolerance to completely shutting yourself off from society. But it could also simply be that the lifestyles are really demanding and the long working hours just
It's a
leave
very American
very little
accent, I
time for
think.
personal
Very.
life. That plus
Well, I
the
couldn't tell
rising
you, but
cost of living is not really
Texanian,
the ideal
Texonian.
condition for starting a
I don't
family.
know.
Whatever is the crux of the problem, if this continues to happen, in the next couple of generations, we're probably going to be
I mean, I'm not
seeing what
very.
we're
I mean,
seeing in
you
these
can hear it
dystopian
out. I guess she
cyberpunk
just
worlds.
lived a lot in that part of America, I think.
This is a
Brutalist.
very iconic scene. In both Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049,
Never
the
watched Blade Runner, but
corporations
Blade Runner
are
2049
represented by huge brutalist-style buildings
sick.
that are kind of shaped like Mayan pyramids.
Made me feel very
At
lonely.
first glance,
but
it
very
kind of
good.
looks like the design was optimized for planes. Compared to a traditional tower, these stepped pyramids have a very large landing surface. I think the reference to Mayan pyramids was actually really intentional. These were religious and political structures. They used it for rituals, sacrifices, for observing the stars, and some even had tombs of important rulers. So these corporate towers get an almost religious connotation, which actually makes a lot of sense because this is the place where they create the replicants. But unlike these real Mayan pyramids, the sheer scale and density of these structures suggests that they have zero regard for life on the street. In city planning,
Fuck
we
them
have
kids.
density limits. The area of the site times the allowable density for that zone. Basically, if the building's taller, it needs to be slimmer. If it's fatter, then it needs to be shorter. Because the mass of the building, it affects the daylight, the wind, and it affects in creating safe and pleasant
That's
spaces
cool. I
for
never
people
really
on the
thought
street.
about that aspect.
So these massive structures, they completely dominate the cityscape, and it also reflects the
So I lived in Mongolia for quite a few years, right? And Mongolia does really, dude, the infrastructure in Mongolia just fucking blows ass. It's bad. You could wait. Let me show you. So you could have like, let's say this is like the green space, all right? This is where's that? Right, this is like a plot of land, right? That you have, and someone decides to build a building like, all right, this is gonna be super 3D. Yep, there you go. All right, so they're gonna have like a house like this, right? And everything's fine. There's like small buildings here and there. Like, all right, I'm gonna fucking, or whatever. You know what I mean. Small buildings here and there. Small like, small Mongolian buildings and stuff. And then there's like this huge building, right? And it has a balcony, right? This is one that I actually saw in Mongolia, right? This one has a balcony, right? Looking in this direction, right? The balcony. So I think, I actually don't know what they thought. They had this building first, and then after a few years or like a few months or something, they decided, all right, we want to build another fucking building. And just like, it's random, right? It's like really random. There's a lot of places here and there. And they're like, all right, where can we fucking build a building? All right? And Mongolian big brains, right? Those guys, they thought, all right, let's build a big ass building, right? As big as the one we built before that. And we'll build it, yep, right in front of that one. Right in front of this other one. And I swear to God, this space in between the two houses, right? 10 meters at most. 10 meters at most, right? 10 meters. So this space in between is 10 meters. But the worst thing is they had the balconies looking in that direction as well. So you had balconies looking in this direction, right? So this balcony would be looking at this balcony, and then this one would be looking at this one. And they were like, so if this is one balcony, the other balcony was like this, and then another one like this, and then another one like this, right? And some of them even were like this, right? Even totally out of place. So I don't know what the fuck they were thinking, but these balconies, you could probably jump from one to the other. All right, I don't think you should, but you could probably do that. And these motherfuckers just have no fucking idea what the fuck they're doing, where the fuck they're doing it, and why the fuck they're doing it. They're just like, guys, we got money. We just got money. We're gonna need to build something. All right, let's build it here. What? There's already something there? Who the fuck gives a shit? It's not we that are going to live there, right? We are just going to get the money. People are gonna live there, so we don't give a shit. And I just fucking built whatever the fuck they want to build, man. So yeah, it was pretty random. Came in here, I don't know why. But yeah, it's just sorry.
Power and control that these corporations have over society. Later, when you look at Deckard's apartment, you'll see these tiles. These details are actually from Frank Lloyd Wright's Ennis House, which is an example of the textile block house or the Mayan revival house. These interlocking concrete forms create a geometric pattern that were inspired by the Mayan pyramids. I don't know if this was intentional or not, but maybe it's suggesting that these corporations reach all the way into the depths of people's private lives. And fast forward to Blade Runner 2049, you'll see a very similar motif in the tiles at Kay's apartment.
Nice.
So maybe not a coincidence after all. It really seems that cyberpunk cities have eyes everywhere. There's so many different ways to profile you. There's
I like how much
cameras,
emotion she
IP
has when
devices.
I'm talking about
Even
it.
the structure of a building is
You
designed
see
to
everything in
create
her face,
this aura
right?
of surveillance. In Blade Runner,
She could be
LAPD
saying that this
building is
video could
also
be
a building in
muted,
the
and you would
Brutalist
still know
style.
what she's talking
It's
about.
designed to have a large landing surface for the flying vehicles,
cool.
and it's almost an inverse pyramid with a wider top and a smaller bottom. This towering gesture suggests surveillance of overlooking. And when you're on the ground plane, it feels really overwhelming. An IHS study predicted that the number of surveillance cameras worldwide would reach 1 billion by 2021. And that was already 2 years ago. 54% of the world's CCTV cameras are actually located
America.
in, can you guess? China, equating to
Sorry.
540.
America wasn't even on the fucking top 5.
Can you guess?
India. So much. What the fuck? 4 of the top 5 is India. And Singapore, Moscow, Baghdad, London, St. Petersburg. And 11th is USA. It's not even 10th on this. It shouldn't even be on the fucking top 10.
China, equating to 540 million.
Sorry,
that means there's
Americans.
372 cameras per 1,000 people, given the country's population of 1.46 billion. Remember Minority Report? That's already kind of happening to China.
I'm sorry for stopping it, but she's giving me so many ideas, man. She's like just like randomly popping out of nowhere, this and that and this. I think I saw an article or something or somewhere that China wants to implement something that would stop people from jaywalking, right? You have like next to a traffic light is like a big display or something, right? And if someone jaywalked over while it was still red, like while the light was still red, that person would have his face up on the camera and up on the display, and I think he would have money deduced from his bank account instantly, just like that. It's like, look at this motherfucking look at this motherfucking stupid ass. He fucking jaywalked. So we are going to take money from him, gonna fucking publicly shame him, and gonna fucking suck his credit score. Crazy.
A man enters a room and tells you a vocal fry. What do you say? Sells.
Sells.
Are you an architect or just a YouTuber? Interlinked.
Interlinked.
Will you cry like a baby if this video doesn't perform well? Cells.
Cells.
A muskrat is drowning because he can't swim anymore. What do you do? Interlinked.
Wait, what's a muskrat?
Do you know what a nutria is?
No.
A quokka?
Quokka!
Capybaras? A beaver? Do you know what a beaver is? Aren't you from Canada? Wait, your data is scrambled. I can't track your
You're in
location
Canada.
anymore.
Okay, never
That's
mind.
because I'm using NordVPN to hide my current location. NordVPN provides the best and fastest privacy protection on the planet, so I can stay safe from malware, phishing, and man-in-the-middle
Skip it if you want
attacks
to,
while
I'll
my
let it
privacy
play.
is protected with next-generation encryption.
If you don't comply,
I mean, I'm using her
I'm
video,
going to
so,
geofence all your favorite
The least I
content.
can do is subscribe,
지금
like, and...
내 말 안 들었어? 그렇게 안 된다니까.
Oh, she's Korean.
With NordVPN, I can watch my favorite K-dramas while I'm
Cool.
traveling or while I'm at home.
But you just have to make one mistake and we'll find a way to track you down.
If my personal information is leaked on the web for any reason, the dark web monitor is gonna notify me instantly. So, good luck with that.
Okay, so I'm going to talk with my manager about this. You hold on and wait there, okay?
Sure. By the way, if you follow the link in my description, you can get 4 extra months off of any 2-year plan. That includes everything that I just mentioned, plus a lot more. Also, if you don't like it, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. You know what? I'm gonna leave now and get back to the video.
Wait, you're so far away from baseline. Interlinked. Cells? Don't leave me alone.
What does that even mean, interlinked cells? Cells.
By the way, if you guys are curious about how we made this video, I created a booklet that contains all of our process. And if you're a spoon or a producer of this channel, it's completely free. All the links are in the description.
What's a spoon? Just hitting me with a lot of words,
In
man.
both of the Blade Runner movies, there's lots of great examples of what you would call brutalist architecture. Brutalism emerged in the 1950s. And when Philip K. Dick wrote Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep in 1961, which is the book that Blade Runner was based on, brutalism was thought to be futuristic, ahead of its time. And actually it was considered kind of radical,
Dude,
especially
something's
compared to
pulling
the
my hair, man.
smooth, clean,
Fuck.
sterile quality of modernism, which came before it. It was even considered a socialist form of architecture. These bare structures, the idea was that they provided a kind of blank canvas that could be infilled by people's experiences over time. It was the kind of architecture that, instead of saying, "Look at me," it came alive only by involving people. It was democratic, it was social, and it was morally right.
Right.
Or that was the idea. Just look at this. Concrete deteriorates and weathers really badly over time. Despite these grand social visions, it turns out people don't act.
Acid rain. Yep. Actually, I don't know if acid rain applies on concrete, but it applies on statues and on your health and on your hair. So if it's outside raining, you should have an umbrella or you should have a hat at least to save your hair from getting bad. You're welcome.
Actually
I might
hanging
save
out
you.
in these massive raw concrete spaces. So eventually these buildings became neglected. But the problem is, because these buildings are just
And
so
I might have just fucking
massive
talked
and
bullshit, 'cause I
dense
don't know.
with concrete, apparently it
Years
would
ago
create
did
a
I
huge
obtain this
amount of
knowledge.
carbon footprint to demolish it. So we're stuck with these cold, raw concrete monsters. By contrast, this is also another very common scene in CyberPunk.
This video is very well
Bright
made.
neon streets with buildings covered in advertising. In most cities, the city planning restricts and controls this type of signage, except for special zones. For example, Times Square, Piccadilly Circus, Shibuya Crossing, or Dundas Square. From a purely capitalistic standpoint, of course it makes sense to use the facades for advertising, since most buildings, the facades don't really serve a functional purpose. But not only does it create visual pollution and light pollution, leading to constant distraction and fatigue in people and any kind of wildlife around it, not only does it encourage overconsumption, not only does it encourage onto spaces that are supposed to be public spaces, commercializing building facades lead to a loss of identity.
Well, they don't know which building that is for? Venice. I have been here. Never mind. No, it is, isn't it? Yeah, it is, it is. Dude, I'm fucking tripping.
You know what you say to a soccer player who's hogging the ball and going in circles?
She
They
said
say
soccer.
he's doing
I don't like this video already.
because that's how people move through Venice.
Oh!
Through the labyrinth and alleys.
Was that her?
Venice is one of those places
She really
where
does
the
look like
city
Anakana.
is an integral part of the person's identity. So in Venice, when buildings are being renovated, they cover it up with a tarp with an exact photo of the facade.
She's also a very
Because
beautiful
to go
woman, but
months or years without that
Believe that.
building, it would be like losing a limb. Walter Benjamin once said that to dwell is to leave traces. Buildings are supposed to reflect the local flavor or the culture, the history, and it's supposed to be a reflection of the people who live there. So when we cover up the building's facades with ads, it takes away the unique character or the spirit of that place, and we start to lose identity not just in our cities.
what
but
if you
also
make a
in
building
ourselves.
that's only for advertisement? Wouldn't that be
A
sick?
public square is a space that's owned and maintained by the government, or a public
Like a building that is only known for its advertising, I guess.
entity, and it's accessible to everyone. Public squares are considered to be a part of the public domain, and they're governed by laws that regulate the use of public spaces. In contrast, a privately owned square is a space that's owned and maintained by a private individual or a company or an organization. These spaces are typically located on private property, like a shopping mall or a corporate campus, and although they might feel public, they're actually only accessible to people who are permitted to enter the property. I talked about skyways in my last video about megacities, and how even though that's how most people get around in the winters, it's not actually a public space. If you linger for too
Skyways.
long,
Sounds
or
cool.
you look like a unsavory character, or you're just a demographic that's not deemed desirable, they're in their full rights to kick you out. So when our public spaces start to get taken over by private interests, in the end,
I
they
probably
can
get
set the
kicked out every
rules.
single
And it
time.
might not seem like a big deal until it is. For example,
Actually, some a friend told me that we were a friend. We were taking the bus, and we didn't know we were in the same bus, right? But apparently I looked very unapproachable. Whatever that fucking means, right? I thought I was super unapproachable. I thought I was like fucking a bundle of joy. I thought I was like, hey, look at me, I'm fucking nice. But I don't know. He said I was looking very unapproachable. He was like, I guess maybe I was thinking or something. He said he was kind of scared of me, man. He said I looked like a fucking serial killer. What the fuck? Can you believe that? Me? A serial killer? What the fuck?
Zuccotti Park, or Liberty Plaza Park in New York City, is a privately owned public space. And in 2011, it was a site of Occupy Wall Street where protesters camped out for several weeks for a peaceful protest. But in November 2011, the protesters were evicted, although it was in their full right to free speech and assembly, because the owner of the space, Brookfield Properties, allegedly complained to the city about them being there. A Abolish all forms of rent control. Abolish all forms of social and affordable housing. Privatize all streets, squares, public spaces, and parks. Whole urban districts. These are not the government mandates of a cyberpunk movie. This is directly pulled from the 8-point manifesto proposed by a prominent partner at Zaha Hadid Architects,
Jesus.
one of the most well-known architecture practices in the world. When I asked ChatGPT, my new best friend, on his thoughts on cyberpunk and its
I love
depiction of corporate
ChatGPT.
dominance, it said, although cyberpunk
I can see ChatGPT being a real nuisance, being a real problem to the society. Dude, I am getting addicted. I am getting very, not addicted, but I'm getting very, I don't have the word for it, but without ChatGPT, if I use it a bit, if I use it longer for like a month or more months, I think I'll be dependent on ChatGPT. I think I'll be dependent as well. I'm the last time I was in Denmark, right? I was like, all right, so what's the plan? With my family, I was there, right? So I was like, all right, what could we do? And I was like, ChatGPT, right? Let me try it out. So I just fucking wrote it in. What can you do in Copenhagen, right? How many days should you plan for Copenhagen? How, like, if you want to drive from Copenhagen to Roskilde, how many hours should you plan in? What is the plan? Like, what should you? And I didn't even realize it, but I have really become dependent on ChatGPT. I've been asking ChatGPT everything. I was like, I should compose an email to someone, to just a random dude, not random, but like to something to something on the store. I bought something, but I wanted to return something. So I was like, ChatGPT, please give me a email that I could write to return something. And this motherfucker just fucking gave it to me, right? Something small happens, I'm like, ChatGPT. Something fucking happens, ChatGPT. Dude, it's kind of bad, man.
movies can be a source of inspiration, caution, or critique, they should not be taken as prescription of the future. I beg to differ. Commercial interests are blending so seamlessly into our lives, and as technology gets better and better every year, and as we rely on them more and more, we are giving away control over our privacy, over our identity, even
Was that the
over
English
our
Prime
own
Minister or
thoughts.
something?
While it's impossible to predict the future, I think we're at a critical time right now. How we address these challenges and the choices that we make, it could really change the trajectory of our future. That's why it's so important that we stay informed, that we advocate for change, that we get involved in our communities, and we also consume responsibly. And that's the only way we can avoid a dystopian future and pave the way for a more equitable and promising society. Because in the end, dystopian dreams, they are reflections of our current fears.
Blade Runner sounds much better than Do Android's dream of electric sheep. Do you agree? Cells? Is this video getting a little bit too long? Cells? I love you guys. Please don't leave me alone here. I just want to be interlinked. If you are still watching,
So is that it?
consider subscribing and like the video. Interlinked.
That's pretty cool.
Right, and camera rolling. Slate.
Her name is Dami Lee. Let me look at her building. She's an architect? No. Wait, yeah. No, wait, what did she do? Yeah, she's an architect. She's an architect and YouTuber.
My solitude.
Study model. So that's like
This is a scale of a person, so you can kind of get a sense of how big this thing is. It's encircled
What is
by
that?
hundreds of cypress trees. Just look at the scale of this. Handling feedback on your project.
Google Arts and Culture. Tech review.
Last month, architecture.
That's cool. That's pretty cool. Whoops. Dami Lee. Actually, well, that sounds Dami. Oh yeah, she's one of my favorite actors, one of my favorite Korean actresses. What is her name? From a Taiwan class. What is her name? Kim Dami. Oh my god. Guys. Yep. This person, this girl. Did you guys watch it? Itaewon Class. Very good. I recommend. Very cute. Very funny. Very inspirational.